cornbread in a cast iron skillet is a Southern classic. If you want a step-by-step guide on how to make this dish, keep watching. The most important part of this recipe is making sure that the cast iron skillet is greased and hot, so I'll talk about that first. While your oven is preheating to 400 degrees, you need to grease your pan. I'm using pork lard that I rendered myself, but you can use vegetable oil without any issue. Once your oven reaches 400 degrees, put the skillet with either the lard or the oil into the oven for 10 minutes. When the 10 minutes are almost up, mix the batter for the cornbread, take the pan out of the oven, and pour in the batter as quickly as possible. You'll see why this is important coming up. Now that you know how to prep the pan, let's get to making the batter. First, melt the butter and add it to the dry ingredients. Then the buttermilk. Then the water, using it to rinse out the last bit of buttermilk stuck to the sides of the measuring glass. Although you probably could just crack the egg directly into the batter, everyone on YouTube cracks it into a separate container and then adds it to the batter. So that's what I'll do too. And then the hotly debated sugar, if you're using it, that is. And then the Greek yogurt, so that I don't have to use quite as much butter. And then start mixing. In order to make sure that you don't have any dry cornmeal on the bottom of the bowl, I recommend using a spatula or a long spoon to really dig deep down into the bowl and bring what's on the bottom up to the top. Now it's ready to go into the cast iron pan. After taking the pan out of the oven, be sure to swirl around the melted lard to make sure that all the sides are covered. Now it's time to pour in the batter. When the batter falls into the hot lard, you should see and hear a nice sizzle. Because the grease was extremely hot when I poured in the batter, the bottom and sides of the cornbread are going to fry. You'll see the golden brown goodness when I cut into it a little bit later in the video. If you've never worked with cast iron before, be careful. It can get very hot and it's very heavy. Be safe. Once all the batter is in the pan, it goes back into the 400 degree oven for 20 minutes. Like I've already said, the pan is both hot and heavy, so be careful. So the cornbread is done. It's been resting about 15 minutes. Now it's time to cut. As you can see, I already found the center with the ruler, and I use the toothpick to mark the center. Because you know I like to cut it evenly, but do not feel obligated to do that. As always, I imagine a fourth, and then I'll go down the middle of the fourth. So, and this pan is still a little hot. Whenever you're working with cast iron, pan stays hot for a long period of time, so be careful. Let's go here. There is the first slice of Southern style buttermilk cornbread. Amazing. Earlier in the video, I told you that the bottom and sides of the cornbread would fry and get golden brown. Let's take a look at that. Wow, look at that crust. Looks amazing. That's because we heated the lard in the pan before we poured in the batter. You could use oil, but lard really gives it a flavor that is unlike anything else. Although cornbread is perfectly good on its own, pairing it with some southern style collard greens is a match made in heaven. Wow, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.